Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Anime-Zing Radio here on YouTube. We want to remind everybody that Anime-Zing Radio is brought to you tonight by Home Circle Media for the latest and greatest in anime gear, everything from pens, pencils, stationery, and officially licensed art books. Be sure to check out homecirclemedia.com today or look for them at an upcoming convention near you. We're also brought to you tonight by Casey Fox, that's KAYCIFOXX, for all of your artwork, cosplay, and photography needs. Be sure to check out Casey Fox on Facebook and Instagram. As I said, good evening, everybody. I'm your host, Doug Engler. Joining me in the co-host seat, as always, is our good friend, Angela.
Hello, everybody.
Darren will be joining us. He is currently driving home. So once he is home safely, he will be coming back on with us. Or so he says, as long as he stays awake. We are excited tonight. We have a lot of good things going on. If you missed our big announcement last week, we are a proud sponsor of PuchiCon going on May 14th and 15th in the Pocono, Pennsylvania area. So we are going to be on hand at PuchiCon with a table. Come by, say hi. They just announced their first guest today. And their guest is going to be Aaron Campbell, very talented voice actor. One of the shows that I'm watching recently is, Banished from the Heroes Party. I decided to live a quiet life in the countryside. He voices the main character, Red, in that. Red also goes by the name Gideon. He's also the main male character in the Helpful Fox Senko-san. So excited about getting a chance to meet him at PuchiCon and to have him coming on the show. Also, other announcements. March 6th, we're going to have Danny Chambers coming back to the show. It'll be the first time that she's joined us since we have gone to YouTube. Welcome back, Darren. I see you have made it home safely. And he's got some eye candy for...
He's still muted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
There we go. Welcome back.
Welcome back, Darren. And, of course, tonight we have an amazing guest. This is a gentleman I have a lot of respect for. He has helped us with some experiences that I have never had anywhere other than the events that he has put on, including the first and only time I've ever had a panel. Had some amazing experiences. And you, the loyal listeners of Anime-Zing Radio, have heard me gush about Vermont Comic-Con for years. Jason was the brawn, everything of Vermont Comic-Con. Retired from doing it because, let's just be honest, fit hit the shan, and every now and then you just need to take care of yourselves mentally. And it's such an honor and privilege to have Jason joining us on the show. He's got a new podcast that he's coming back with. I think you said it was, a 7-year hiatus?
7 years, almost to the day.
And this Wednesday, the XCast is going to be heard. Where can they find it?
They can find it live on Spreaker Wednesday nights, 7 to 9 Eastern.
So definitely got to check that out. And Jason, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, call me Jay. You've known me way too long to call me that. Thank you. Actually, it's great to be back on Anime-Zing Radio. I'm happy to meet Angela and Darren, and this is really great and fun. And it's I'm 46, so this is really late for me. So it's like it's way past my bedtime, but I'm happy to join you guys. Thank you.
We're happy you were able to join us as well. And thank you so much for reaching out to me when you had the idea of bringing the podcast back and trying to figure out some of the basics of how to get things going. What started the podcast way back when?
Well, way back when we actually had a store called Village Comics, my partner, Ken, and I, not life partner or anything. I mean, it's actually my business partner. It's funny because the first day I was actually in this comic business was the day of the marathon bombing, which was insane. I actually just took all the cash I had, bought some statues at this place in Haverhill, decided to go to a flea market and sell them all. I made really good cash, but I met this guy, Ken, and he said, "Wow, you have great stuff." And I said, "Well, hell, I didn't know anybody in this demographic was up this early." And we talked, and by the end of the week, we actually opened a comic store together. So we then started the Village Comics Podcast, which turned into the VCast because Village Comics Podcast is a real big mouthful. And then, because we're two crazy guys, we decided to do an uncensored live radio show called the XCast. We did that for a few years, and we stopped at 2015, June, I believe, 2015. So back in February 2022. We are back. We're old, but we have a lot of opinions. It's pretty entertaining, pretty fun, very uncensored, and not safe for work, unfortunately. Which is why people that listen to us will say, wow, he really is in control of himself tonight. But so we really just got that itch. I mean, it's been 7 years since I've really talked to either of them, to be honest with you. And it wasn't through any falling out or things just happen. I mean, we're living life, and I had several businesses in Vermont, and we just I moved to South Carolina in October, so I got bored. I teach cooking online and stuff like that. So I said, I'm gonna look these guys up, and they were just as excited, and I was shocked, how excited they were just to get back into talking about it, let alone now it's a thing. So we've committed to it, and we're going to be on for a few years anyway.
That's awesome to hear. And podcasting and doing these live radio shows is not an easy thing. It's a lot of times there's a lot of planning and stuff that goes into getting it set up before you even start going. It's, when I first started getting involved in internet radio and podcasting and stuff, and this is probably a good 7 years before Anime-Zing radio even started. I was doing paranormal talk radio on a small site called liveparanormal.com. And I would go on due to the fact of being a paranormal researcher since I was 19. So, 25 years or so of experience in the field, bouncing around from show to show as a guest co-host, eventually starting my own show of just paranormal nonsense talk. And then that led to a pop culture show on Blog Talk Radio, which from there, it opened the door to Anime-Zing radio. So it kind of a fun little jump around, and I experienced a bunch of different networks. Hazy Radio was actually, before Blog Talk, Hazy Radio was where we first got our start with the help of Scott Hare, Clarissa Vasquez, Brandon Aarons was our first co-host. Tia Ballard, a very talented voice actress, was our first ever guest. And, it was a lot of fun to get into radio. And I'll be honest, if you asked me in high school if I ever thought I'd be doing a talk radio show, I would have thought you were nuts. Because in school, I was quiet, I was shy, had probably less than 5 friends or 5 people I could consider friends that I went to school with, and kept to myself. Now you can't shut me up.
Yeah, see, no one believes me when I say I spent a period of time being the quiet one. Because
I was never the quiet one.
9 years of Catholic school will do that to you.
Actually, I used to be kind of like Doug back in the day. I played a lot of sports. I was on a lot of teams, and I was like the only one in my team that would read comics at the same time, and was kind of like okay with everybody, but kind of flowed my own way. But I always knew I was not destined to follow that crowd. Like, you know what? I need to be the Pied Piper myself. So I just have always thought that turned out to be that way, and I've only been successful when I've been my own boss. So totally understand you there.
No, I am just the one that never really fit in anywhere, but fit in everywhere, if that makes any sense whatsoever. And kind of never really did the comic thing. Got introduced, actually just now starting to get into comics and such, anime and board games and video games and just books in general, kind of more my thing.
That's fantastic.
And anime and cosplay is how Doug and I met a long time ago. And then far more recently, we started talking more, and he's like, hey, you enjoy anime, why not come on my show? And I said, sure, why not?
And it actually started because you were talking about some of the topics that you guys are going to be covering on the XCast. And we had a game that we played where my wife pulled out, I think it was like 20 or 30 anime characters. And we called it Smash, Trash, or Cuddle. And we had to choose based off of the picture of the character. Would we smash that? Would we trash that? Or if you couldn't make up your mind, we allowed the cuddling aspect because they might look too young, and obviously, a lot of us on the show here are older and don't want to fall into the no-no areas, so to speak. And we're like, we might cuddle this one because they look like they're too young to be in either category.
Oh God, if you heard our show, man. No, we did a segment like that. It was the March Madness bracket called, and this is going to be totally turning off some of your fans, I'm sure. It's called Who Would You Rather Do? And it was really based on hair color, things like that, just different categories. And this is 7 years ago, so just be a little bit more like okay with it. Jessica Alba won that whole bracket. I was against it, but I was an Isaac Gonzalez guy. Still am. So we have all sorts of what's that?
Given the time frame, I will disagree with that victory, but also not be surprised.
Oh, right. Machete Kills was out back then. So, I mean, she was in the Machete movies and stuff like that. So that was pretty great. I'm a huge Tarantino Rodriguez guy. And so our segments are really, I'm going to say just this in a nutshell, Doug. Our segments are things you probably don't want to talk about in your show. No, I'm kidding. Tune into the XCast and you can get, it's going to be, we're coming back with a bang, put it that way.
From everything Jason was telling me, the XCast, for those of you who enjoy the 18 plus content and wish that AZR would produce more of that content, which we may in the future, you definitely got to check out Jay's show.
I am so watered down. I'm dripping. It's horrible.
And if you want to hear me off the rails, at some point, I'm sure Jay will get me on the show and
you absolutely
let me take the reins off.
Oh yeah. No, see, there's nothing more liberating than sitting and just even in your own place. Because I mean, I'm in my dining room area, kitchen area. There's nothing more liberating than getting on there, talking to people you're comfortable with, and just letting completely loose and not having any consequences, which is great. I mean, what are you gonna do? Not do another show next week? I mean, it's not my livelihood. So we've done so much that I think between the I can't even say that on here. Between this and that and things we talk about and the segments we do, if we were going to get booted anywhere, it would have been years ago. Granted, things get progressively like, oh, you can't do that anymore, or that may not want to talk about that. But honestly, we're not just sitting there, doing a curse show. I mean, we talk about random things in sometimes heated ways, but we also learn who we are and we have fun with it because we're just three older dudes in our 40s and stuff. I think Jimmy D's in his 50s, but we just have fun and we tell it like it is. We give our opinions. We give the listeners a platform to just spout off and be one of the X-casters and be part of a group that is always accepting of them. We accept everybody. I mean, I am a huge nerd. And I love the fact that we've had loyal followers where we can go on Twitter even today and say, hey, we're back. And they go, oh my God. And we get private messages throughout the years like, I miss you guys. It's great. It's really awesome to hear people say, we're so glad you're back. And hey, great. It's going to be refreshing, fun. And like I said, you guys are always welcome on.
Oh, yeah. And I want to switch gears a little bit to the Vermont Comic-Con days because
fun.
I know for you there was a lot of hell that was associated with that, but as an attendee and as a vendor, the 3 Vermont Comic-Cons that we were able to attend were among the favorite cons I've been to in my life. And I mean that. I'm not just saying that because you're on the show. My wife feels the same way. Like we went.
Your wife's very kind.
And 1 year that we went there, I don't know how it worked out, but you had us, Karen Gosselin, Jay Moores, one of the HB Comics, and like 2 other people we were really, really good friends with, all in the same row, within like 3 or 4 tables of each other. And at the end of the row where the celebrities were, you had, what's her name? Michaela Krantz, who is a good friend, and you found her through Vermont, through ChaseCon, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
And we got her to ChaseCon.
Well, it's if you think that the rows just magically were that way, they were planned that way. I needed to have a row of people that would do the wave as I walked by, that were friendly.
That was it.
Like, it was a great row.
It was it's like the biggest hug fest I've ever been a part of during a setup. Like, and you would have laughed your ass off at us because we saw each other and just ran to each other like, oh my God, I can't believe it's been too long. Yeah.
Well, I mean, when you work conventions and you can't enjoy them, which is kind of a travesty. I mean, I did put a book out during the shows. No, the real dark thing behind Vermont Comic Con was I almost left the way I started, which is I had an idea. I'd never been to Vermont, actually. Let's go back for a second. 98, I went to go see the specials at some place called the Pickle Barrel in Vermont, but I was really young back then. But I'd never been to Vermont, like Burlington or anything. And I said, well, hell, I'm already working with multiple shows in New England, kind of get my feet wet, seeing if I like it. And I said, well, why the hell shouldn't I do it? So then I contacted a venue in Burlington, got the ball rolling, said, okay, well, I have to come up with $50,000 by the time I have the show start. Cool. That's a challenge. I'll do it. And I decided to just do it my way. I didn't want to do it the Rhode Island way, the Hartford way, this way, that way, the San Diego way, the New York way. This is the J way, because I was a one-man team for a long time. And, thank God we're successful every show, made money every show, had great attendees every show. And the problem is when you become what everybody wants to be, then you get along with the business. I mean, it's not bright and beautiful. There's a lot of jealousy. There's a lot of, infighting. And hey, I just said, hey,
it's political bullshit at its finest.
Absolutely. So I just said, hey, the name of the show is mine. I have the rights to this name. So I'll do this on my own. You guys can go. Did it again. 8 shows under my belt. By the time that was done, I said, you know what? To my now wife, Natasha, Tasha, she did 3 shows with me. So let's just stop. There's no reason I have to kill myself over this. I mean, there's no reason I have to hurt my body, my mind, everything else. I had developed an incredible amount of PTSD from the show. And it was literally maybe 2 months ago, I was picking my first book in 3 years to read for comics. But I did enjoy it at the time. I enjoyed the people, but like I'm sure in your show, Doug, and I'm sure in your experience, Angela, the people that you are around the most are the ones that are going to hate you the most when you become at your best. And that was the theme for Vermont Comic Con, is when you became your best. I mean, Magic had named a beer after me, which was weird. A bunch of people did some weird things like that. Right. People just gave me thousands of dollars in sponsorships. It was great. But I didn't feel like I had anyone to talk to. It was that kind of thing. So by the time you leave, you go, I did this. Yeah. I still honestly, in my mind, my wife will tell you that I did something crazy, amazing. But it was just one dude going up and trying this stuff. And even afterwards, even today, I have anything around the house, garage, anything of Vermont Comic Con. Nothing. Like, I literally can't appreciate what I've done yet. She says I will someday, but I loved the fans. I loved the attendees. I loved the artists and vendors and things like that. And I like the reason we started it, the reason I started it. And I don't like, just overall the business is not what it used to be. And if they want to be honest with themselves, every promoter out there, if they want to be truly honest with themselves, have some sort of medical condition by the time the shows are done. It's just a sad fact of life, but attendees don't think about that. Nobody thinks about that part. They only want to see the show go on. But I don't compromise. I don't ever compromise. And if I compromise once in that show, it failed. People that have started since me have failed miserably. 4 or 5 shows up there have failed miserably because they always want to compromise and give things to this person, that person. You have to have literally balls of steel. Excuse me. And you have to make sure you don't compromise your own principles or the ideas behind the show, because that's when you lose money, you lose fans, you lose everything. You lose your shirt, and then you probably lose your house and your wife and your kids. Successfully through all 8 shows, never done that. But let's just say it's not the thing I'm most proud of in the world. I mean, I'm most proud of like my family and, where I've become and where I am. And the shows are literally, I hate to say this for the sake of pop culture in the show, that was just one segment of my life, very small segment. So, but I did enjoy it to a degree. Sad reality.
No, that's.
Go ahead.
I have my own experience like that is very similar, not on that level, but it was some of the, if I look back at my 20s and the things I accomplished, it's mind-boggling. But at the same time, as a result, when I decided, fuck this, I'm done, it dawned on me how few of those people I still talk to.
Oh yeah. I mean,
and that's
Doug's one of those people I still talk to. One of the few.
And it's it really is one of those experience. It's a life-changing experience.
Because you know when it rips the soul out of you, or when it tries to. That's when you need to stop. That's when you need to be done.
Exactly.
And I did not want to water down the shows and just say, "Yep, here's a 10th Comic-Con and here's a 20th." And yeah, I made enough money to retire on. Who cares? That's not even the part I'm proud of. I mean, yes, it's an accomplishment. My wife's like, has this whole list of things. You're accomplishing this, and you wrote a book, and it's published, and you did 8 shows, and you started with nothing. You had literally started the show with $0 in your pocket. Great. Cares? Like, kiss it. But it's really anything that you really just grind your ass to, and you make sure that you are 365 days, 24/7. It's not even like a just one of those, I worked every day. I did work every freaking day. And all you would do is lose yourself in this business. I mean, I missed birthdays, Christmases, things like that. I will never, ever miss another holiday with my family. That is the one thing I told myself, because this is a great pop culture. I don't want to sit here and like make people want to slash their wrist in your show, dude. It's just a sad reality. But honestly, I have got Doug. I have got Tasha. I've got, Leanne. I've got so many good friends that are true friends from those years that I wouldn't trade it for a stack of millions or another show or anything like that. I do great on my own, and I'm kicking it right now. I'm kicking so much butt right now. I'm on top of the world more than I ever was.
And I think this is something, and we've had a lot of show promoters on AZR over the last, and hold your hats, Jason. April, we turn 8.
There you go.
So the last 8 years, I've worked with many, many conventions. I've done promotions for many conventions. I have donated giveaways to conventions like Anime-Zing, AAC, Bakuretsu Con,
Vermont
Comic-Con. We've actually had the cosplay contest winner from Vermont Comic-Con has been a guest on our show. That's one of the things we've given away or donated to PuchiCon. Was the overall masquerade winner will be a guest for a future show for AZR. Right. Also, one random winner will win a guest co-host for a voice actor interview on the show.
That is so cool.
And as you heard, we have 2 big ones lined up, Danny Chambers and Aaron Campbell. And I have messages out to at least 10 more that I'm waiting to hear back from. And, we love giving back to the community. As you know, I have always been big on promoting people, lifting people up. And I think there are times, especially in today's day and age, where everybody wants to sugarcoat everything. Everything is wonderful. Everything is roses and, chocolates and blah, 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 blah. But really, there is a dark side to everything that people just try to sweep under the rug and not think about. This is stuff, whether you want to hear it or not, this stuff happens. And
I think I'm just too honest. I think that's my downfall. I'm just too honest. Like I will never tell you guys that Vermont Comic-Con was a shitty time. Ever. Sorry, I'm like, make my mouth better.
Too honest is actually a good thing.
Whether really, honest enough where it would definitely hurt me. And then if you don't like what I got to say, then hey, that's too bad. I'm not gonna just hug you and stab a knife in your back. I'm gonna say, look, that's a crap idea, or why didn't I think of that? Great. We did the best part about the shows was always charity. You're right, Doug. The charity work. I mean, we worked with hundreds of charities. We gave away so many tickets over the years. It's probably like at least 5,000 to 10,000 tickets over an 8-show period. We raised a ton of money for Make-A-Wish. I mean, I love that stuff. We did a Tasha. She was the brains behind. She'll say I was, but it's honestly her. Was the Always Be a Superhero anti-bullying campaign. I mean, we've done a lot of stuff. But the cool thing is, I can still do those things in my normal everyday life. I'm more happy that I've learned to cook and become a gourmet chef. I'm happy that I've raised beautiful kids and who are well behaved and well mannered and do well in school. I'm way more proud of that. I'm way more proud of my marriage to my wife Natasha than anything I've ever done in those shows. I mean, that was sort of like that was the time where I really sowed some oats and just got wild and went crazy and spent a ton of money on stupid things I never thought I'd be able to spend it on, because I never had money until then. But overall, I mean, it's just a cool experience. It would have made a great show. I mean, I know a fellow friend artist of ours wants to do a story on me, but I'm like, dude, I am no like big superhero. I just want to tell people the experiences, and when you do that, you can make people not want to start a show. Like that's my whole goal. Don't. My friend New Hampshire. They're starting a show, and like, give me good advice for my husband. I said, yeah, don't do it. If you love your wife, you love your family, don't do it. I was divorced over it, and that's okay because it was whatever. But everything came out great. I came out great in the wash. So much like Anime-Zing Radio, I'm still here. I'm still awesome, and I'm still rocking.
And that's the important thing is, you hear stories like this all the time of somebody who started with nothing, built something great, and then just the thing that they built tore them down internally. And you were smart enough and you knew that was happening. So you were brave enough and took the steps not to fall into the trap of, I need to keep going. You're like, no, this is going to kill me if I don't stop. I need to step back.
I literally took everything, put it in a pile, and took the matches and threw it behind me and burnt it and rode off in the sunset. I was like, I'm done. But it led me here, man. I mean, this is just fantastic. I'm telling you.
And this just in, we have a guest for February 20th. Funimation voice actress Brianna Roberts is coming back on the show. That's why you saw me talking on the phone or sending the messages.
Yay!
So we have 3 Funimation voice actors in 4 weeks. So if you're new to the show and you don't believe that we can get good quality voice actors, Brianna most recently can be heard in the latest episode of Restaurant to Another World, where she voices a mermaid character. She does a fantastic job because I literally just watched that episode tonight before coming on the air.
I know I feel like I always apologize when I come on the show. Like, I have not seen a lot of anime. Totally bad.
That's okay. We are not strictly, but yes, my focus and Darren's focus a lot of times is the anime side of things because I don't know much about the comic world.
Sure.
That's Angela knows she's getting into the comic world, as you said, Ange, but you're more of the gaming, tabletop, anime type.
I am the classic nerd that didn't read comics until I was almost 40.
But a lot of stuff you're into is pretty cerebral. That's great. I mean, I'm totally awful at tabletop gaming.
I spent my teens and my 20s basically being the girl in a group of guys in literally all of my hobbies.
Well, there you go.
Basically going back to being a teenager in martial arts. As we got older, I was the only girl in our advanced rank class. Testing for my black belt with dudes 2 and 3 times my size.
Sweet.
So when we were doing throws, the day I was able to throw the biggest guy across the room, that was like this big thing for 17-year-old me, who was 5 foot tall and probably not even 100 pounds.
Right on. No, there's so many aspects of the geek culture. It's so cool just that you don't have to put your butt into one box. I mean, I went comic fan when I was way, way young. Comic store or peddler at flea markets to comic store owner to convention owner to bye-bye everything and boom behind me. And, still a fan. I've somehow made it back to being a fan of certain things. Although my tastes are extremely pathetic and horrible, so I wouldn't even ask me what my favorites are. They're bad. Although I do love, I do love free apps on my TV, and I've really gotten into Switch Girl, which is a great Japanese show. Only 2 seasons, which is kind of sad, but totally cool series. If you guys ever want to check it out, Switch Girl is fantastic. I totally fan out during it. It's awesome.
I won't lie. I do wish that I did have more pieces of the Vermont Comic-Con from the time of being there, but. Do
you want some swag? I'm sure Tasha can dig some for you. She actually has a few boxes and whatever's of stuff from the show. We gave everything. I thought I gave everything to my buddy Stan, who was going to be the curator of the Vermont Comic Con Museum. Basically his whole shrine to Comic Con. She still has koozies, copies of my book, posters, things like that, stuff I wanted to burn. And she's like going to be she's always acts like a 90-year-old when we talk about it. She's like, you'll appreciate it someday, Jay. She doesn't even sound like that either, but that's just me being a dink.
I mean, if you wanted to send something, because like I said, that
I'm sure I get a shirt somewhere.
It was some of the funnest conventions, and I like the small to mid-sized conventions. I prefer conventions the size of Bakuretsu-Con, Vermont Comic-Con, AAC over Anime Boston, Kineticon, some of the larger, because it's a more comfortable, more homey feel of a convention.
Well, it's really what you execute. It's what you execute in the show. I mean, really.
As an attendee, the event is what you make of it.
Oh, absolutely. And if the promoter's, somewhat savvy, I mean, if I can think of the cleanest way to say this in your show, it's kind of like your package. It doesn't have to be the biggest in the world. It's how you use it. It's what you use it for. And exactly. It totally works.
Like I love doing large scale events, but that's just because I love the atmosphere. I love the energy. But those events can be very overwhelming if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, I just hate people, so I couldn't do the big events. I was actually offered like a huge spot in some other show way back in the day. Like, oh, you could run this and have 30,000 people instead of 7,000 people. I went, absolutely not.
Like, I love going to PAX East. And
I went there once.
I love it. The energy is just so amazing, and I can't wait for this year's.
See, I think I just wasn't that good where I couldn't handle 30,000 people. I would have just blown my head off. Come on. I love like doing extra special things for attendees and especially for vendors, artists, like having water on the tables for them. Little things I couldn't do at a 30,000 person show. Making a more intimate experience for the celebrity, the fan, the vendor, but also keeping the tradition of what geek culture is all about together. I don't think I could have done it on a larger scale. Having
seen behind the curtain at enough of geek culture events over the years, it's one of those things. It's like you learn how things are run, and you can tell which events are actually caring and which ones are all about just trying to make a profit.
Yeah. And I know when you go to enough conventions, because at one point in time, before moving up to Plattsburgh, New York, before pandemic stuff, when I was living in the Massachusetts area, before and after being with my wife, we were averaging between 10 to 15 conventions a year, which is a lot of events to go to. Everything from one-day shows, a small show in Connecticut, to Anime Boston, Kineticon, trying to hit Anime-Zing, trying to hit Vermont Comic-Con, AAC, so many, Northeast Comic-Con 2 to 3 times a year for Gary's shows. And, I have being able to talk to so many convention promoters and owners like yourself, Jay, I have gained a ton of respect for what you have gone through and what you guys do to try to put on the events.
Yeah, it's a thankless job, my man. I mean, when you're, even if you just think about things in its most simplistic, like, sorry, my central's on. I don't know if they just picked up in the background. When you think of it most simplistic, where you walk in, you see this cool stuff. They don't know what it took to get, Bill Diamond and Audrey from Little Shop of Horrors just to get to the show, or they don't know what it took for that light in the corner to actually work, or the door to open right, or just the little tiny things that you do during the show that you're not prepared for your first time or 2 or 5, where you just know, what, we're going to open the doors, all hell can break loose, and it's totally okay because there's nothing that can't be fixed. Short of like a fire or something, which we had a fire alarm like right at the end of one of our shows. But
number 4.
Yeah.
Duct tape can fix most things.
Exactly. I mean, and the cool thing is in this business, the one thing I can say that's positive, and I'm not trying to shed everything in a total horrible light, but when you do screw up, and you will, in whatever it is you do, this audience, the geek audience, is the most, by far, the forgiving, coolest, most accommodating people and understanding people you'll ever meet. I mean, it's not like you're in line at McDonald's waiting for a hamburger and they run out and people have a riot. They'll hold the doors for you. They'll like offer to help you out. They'll offer to do the lines. They'll offer to, help bring water to the tables. They'll help with everything. And they did. And we had a ton of great volunteers. And that is the one thing that'll keep me happy about the shows is the humanity involved, even at the smallest level.
Exactly. And like my background with a lot of that stuff is from the competitive CCG gaming aspect. I ran large scale events basically because everyone in New England wanted a larger event, but no one was willing to put in the work. And I said, fuck it, why not? People want this. I know enough people at this point, I'll fucking do it. And it got to a point where I was in that particular online community. I knew people all over the world.
Oh, sure. Steve Jackson Games, one of our biggest sponsors we had, gave us all free Munchkin games, like everything we wanted.
And
that was cool. Loved it.
And I eventually just burned out between what amounts to corporate politics, between just exhaustion, work, life, the universe, everything. I grew to resent the very things that got me there in the first place.
I completely understand that.
And that's when
on such a deep DNA level, I understand that.
And that's when I was just like, nope, I'm done.
Yep. And the great thing is when you realize that, the unfortunate part of the business is, I'm not going to name names, but I know that there are several promoters who are completely in and out of the hospital quite a bit. A lot of it's stress. A lot of it is just not taking care of yourself. You're going to show to show to show, eating like crap, and really not taking care of yourself, not helping your mental health. Mm-hmm. What geek culture teaches us is that it's okay to be yourself, and everybody tries to be somebody else. And it's sad to see some promoters and people who have done the business for years suffer such horrific health conditions. And you know who you are, and you're probably listening saying, I hate this guy because I've worked with him before, or I love this guy, but I hate him, but I love to hate him, or whatever combination you want. I wish you all so well. I don't, even my worst enemy, I don't want to see them go down the path of going to the hospital every day and just croaking because you're putting too much in yourself. Honestly, after so many years of not doing it, I've got zero ill will towards anybody during those shows. They were just like a character in my story, whether they were good or bad or whatever. I still wish even my worst enemy well, because they're just a character in your story, and it's not like a personal thing. And if it happens to be that, it's on them. For me, it was just like, this is everything. If they were making a really boring movie of my career, they were just another actor in there. And like, I totally have no ill will to any other promoter or like artist or crap. It's not worth it.
Too short.
That's not even the too short thing. It's really it's if you think about it in what it is, in the context that it is, you were one person out of billions. So those people are you don't know during that time or even now what their life is like, what their upbringing was like, how crappy they had it, how good they had it, whatever. But you know that they either wanted something you had, or they had some reason, some agenda. But the cool thing is at the end of it, they are just players in the game of life. That's all they are. And for good, bad, otherwise, it's on you not to hold that in.
And Darren, I know that you have the camera up. Are you still awake? Are you still here with us?
Darren, to me, is like a stuffed toy over there. Is that what he looks like? Is that actually Darren? Cool.
No, that is a stuffed toy. Darren very rarely, in fact, I don't know if Darren has ever officially appeared on camera during a show.
That's awesome, actually.
Usually he has a picture up, or he will pull it. Like most times I have a figure up in front of the camera, so people don't have to just stare at my ugly mug. Today I bought a new, yesterday went to the mall, bought a new hat that I had been eyeing for over a year. So of course the Inuyasha hat, I had to get it. It's got the ears.
Nice.
I'm 43 years old. I'm wearing a hat with ears.
Dude, right on.
Culture, deal with
it.
You,
man. That is the coolest thing ever, man.
This is adulting 101 right here.
Yeah, like if you're comfortable with it, dude, it wouldn't matter if it had whatever on it. If it had Yoda ears, whatever. Cool, man. Totally cool.
Fox ears.
I'm just rocking my Boston hat because I've got no imagination.
Angela will tell you I had fox ears on one night that she was here.
Nope, and I run my closet runs the gambit from anime stuff to other nerd pop culture to sports jerseys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in a total identity crisis with my stuff. I mean, you walk into we have this walk-in closet that the kids call the other bedroom because some reason they built a huge walk-in here. Not that I'm complaining, but it fits all the jerseys, things like that. But I am in such a total crisis because I moved in here in October, so I tossed all my winter stuff because I don't need it. And I've got a mix of, I don't know, t-shirts, jeans, some dress clothes, some bowling shirts, and like some hats, and just a whole crap ton of stuff I'll never ever need. So I'm like donating the crap out of my closet. And I found like a whole box of Comic-Con shirts on top of this whole thing, and an XCast shirt, like the only one I ever had. I didn't know I still had. So I mean, memories open up when you move because you'll find crap that has just been hidden away forever. Yeah. It's crazy.
And I'm sorry, Natasha, but I'm rooting for the Bengals in the Super Bowl.
Oh, I don't think she likes you right now. Actually, she's upstairs. We're an old couple. I mean, she's 37, I'm 46, and she goes to bed before I do.
The reason being is
she's a huge Chiefs fan. She's from Missouri, so.
Well, Bengals haven't been to the Super Bowl since '88. The Patriots recently beat the Rams in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
So I'm rooting for the team that hasn't been there longer.
I'm actually rooting for nobody, to be honest with you.
See, and I'm at the point of bitter at how the Bills lost.
Oh, so you're a Bills fan?
And no, my mother is a Bills fan. My mother is from Buffalo, New York, and I grew up watching Bills games.
Okay,
subsequently,
that's legit. Subsequently, I'm one of those spoiled. Well, not on the outside, just spoiled New England fans that had it great for 20 years. But I'm thankful for every year. When Tom left, not to like turn this into a sports show. When Tom left, okay, I said, "Oh, what the hell with him?" Like I'm going to root for whoever the guy's there. And unfortunately, we got Newton, and that one turned out crappy. But the second Mac Jones picked his number.
Mac Jones is good.
I went right on NFL.com. I called the stadium and said, I need a jersey customized because I knew they were like, oh, if you order a Mac Jones jersey, it's going to take 3 months. I'm like, can you customize a jersey? My last name is Jones, and I want the number 10 on my jersey. So I got it, before he even had his first snap, which was great. I'll do that.
Yeah, I just remember being in college during the first Patriots Super Bowl win.
Oh my God, you're so young.
And I remember being literally the only person in the room not rooting for St. Louis that year.
Dude, I had a kid that was 1 year old when that happened. Like I've been a dad for 22 years.
I was gonna say you're not that much older than me.
I drove from
25
Wareham, Massachusetts to Taunton, Mass. When the Patriots won the Super Bowl.
Wow!
Because we had a party going on. My dad had to leave to go to work. He worked overnight security for the Holiday Inn in Taunton, and when they won the Super Bowl, I left the party cleanup to my mother, my friend Scotty, and his girlfriend at the time because I drove to celebrate the win with my dad.
That's awesome, man. I mean, I remember.
I
remember that so well.
I just remember being in college and like some dude getting all in my face, threatening me with why am I not rooting for St. Louis? And I'm just like, dude, I'm from Boston. What do you want from me?
See, I mean,
and they left me alone.
Not against that. I mean, like this whole Super Bowl this year, you got this halftime show, which a lot of, I guess I'll quote it, millennials, whatever, are stoked about. They want like a throwback to the 90s. I do too, but all the throwbacks in the 90s that we know that are for rock anyway that we talked about earlier are just dead. I just want a rock and roll show at one point. I was stoked when Springsteen had a show, but I look at it going,
like I get it, but I don't.
I thought there was not that many good shows, but I did love the Lady Gaga one because she rocks. She was so cool in her own right. I mean, like her music. I don't love her music, but she is so talented.
Actually, one of the better ones was actually J-Lo and Shakira, because I'll
watch Shakira on mute all day long.
But see, at their age, they freaking rocked it, and Absolutely. That is goals.
Yeah, see, I'm more a fan of like the. I'm gonna really date myself here. I'm more a fan of like when the Cardinals played the Steelers and Springsteen played. I grew up listening to that. Like, oh, great. Stuff for my youth. Cool, because I'm old now. But hey, the hell with sports. Let's talk about something else.
God.
I digress.
Sports anime, what about Keijo?
Ooh, God, I saw some of that, dude. I was so impressed. I wanted to start. I wanted to say, screw it. I was almost gonna buy a roller derby team back when I was doing business in Barrie, and was offered a team to buy the team and do all this stuff. And I was really close, but they decided they didn't have a place to play, which was sad because I almost bought it.
Barrie, Vermont.
Yeah. So then
God.
and then I saw that anime told me about it, and I went, man, now this is the team that I want to buy one of these teams. This is fantastic.
God.
Holy God.
Keijo was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that anime, and I loved it so much I did a special on the show, and I don't remember. I have to look back through my list of.
It's the coolest game ever. I mean, I'm like the most diehard hockey fan you'll ever meet, and that sport is so cool. Way cooler than that.
When did I do that special?
Butts and boobs. I mean, that sells for me. I'm a 46-year-old dude that just loves butts and boobs, I guess. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. And more stuff on the XCast Wednesday night. Yeah, you'll hear a lot of that stuff.
So the Keijo special, I had Marissa Lenti, Skylar McIntosh, Felicia Angel, and Alex Moore join.
See, you know what happened? Doug's such a nice guy.
Only one of them was in the main four.
Well, Doug's such a nice guy. He'd say, "Well, what was it like playing that character?" I would say, "Which one had the biggest boob or butt?" I mean, like I'd be asking stupid questions. Well, he's such a better interview host than I am.
The problem was, and I've gone down the road of, because there's an anime out there, and it gets brought up every friggin' show. Somewhere along the lines within the 2 hours of Anime-Zing Radio, Darren and I always have to bring up an anime called Conception. Worst anime I've ever seen.
We managed to go an entire week without it. I thought we left this behind.
Send me the link. What's it about, honestly?
It's based off a video game. And because of seeing the anime, I refuse to even acknowledge the game because it's that bad.
Really?
Basically, you have a high school boy and his female student that he's good friends with get summoned into another world, and he has to mate with 12 other women, and their offspring have to go and defeat this demon lord.
Dude, that's the Jason Moulton life story. That's that's just how it is.
I'm sure that the women that you may have had were a lot better looking than the ones he got stuck with, and any children probably looked normal and not the freaks that were in this. Children,
yes. Women, actually, Tasha's convinced and tells everybody I've been with 1 million women. She's convinced of that. She just knows my past. But no, that sounds like a really rotten story, because honestly, it just I have to look it up, because when you reference something, I do look it up. Like I look up Food Wars, I look up all this other stuff. Whether I have time to do anything is another story. But
it's on Funimation.
It's on Funimation. I have that. I have Funimation and Crunchyroll.
So add it to the never-ending queue of stuff you'll get to eventually.
Yes, because there's some that I do watch, and actually Tasha watches way more than I do. She watches that. Oh God, I'm going to massacre these titles, but that Hunter. Yeah, she loves that. I always call it like Hunter X Hunter because I see the X on there.
Yep.
Yeah, I suck.
By the way, Angela, I did start Blue Period. I've seen one
Finally.
episode.
Like the girls are.
To watch one episode.
The girls are 10, 10, and 8, so they watch Sailor Moon. They love it, and they've all picked their own character, whether they want to be. Like they're at the age where I tell them that, like I tell my daughter Zoe that, she's Sailor Moon, so she's gonna kiss Tuxedo Mask, and we all make fun. We're like, and she gets all crazy.
This is a show that would be perfect for them if they like.
Oh, actually, I found out that I'm a trendsetter, because a long time ago I decided I'd have them watch this Bunanya show because it looked kind of cool, and then I see it in stores everywhere. Yeah. Jesus.
So this is an anime that's on Funimation and on Crunchyroll. It's called Show by Rock. Show by Rock itself has season 1 about 6 OVAs. Season 2, season 3 is Show by Rock Mashimaresh, which in my opinion is the best season. And now they are currently, I believe, don't quote me on this, I believe they are currently dubbing Show by Rock Stars, which is season 4. And when I say it's a music-based anime, the characters are absolutely adorable. That's Cyan, the main character of Show by Rock. Voiced by Bryn April. We've had her as a guest on the show. We've even had her come on and guest co-host for a cosplayer who cosplayed as Cyan.
Oh, that's awesome. See, and we have nothing like that in the XCast. We're just straight up opinionated. I think our biggest guest was me, and that's bad.
Well, you're a bigger guest than I am, so you have us on, you'll still be the biggest guest.
Nah, I'm just a regular dude now, man. I mean, my landscaper, when he found out what I did for a living, he came up with I really love conventions. I love conventions. Can I read your book? And down here, dude, this place has more churches than anything else. Let me tell you. I love the community. It's like the coolest subdivision in the world. Everybody helps each other. They're all really cool. But once you're outside there going to the store, it's like this whole strip of cool stores. But in between, there's like 50 churches, which, hey, whatever. To each his own. But when the guy read my book, all he could say was, yeah, I just want to talk to you about your book. It's really not the kind of language Jesus would approve of. I never wanted to say F, so much in my life because I'm like, dude, that's my work, man. It's dialogue. It's dialogue in a story. Like, I'm sure you've seen a movie before. That's the kind of crazies I have to deal with down here.
Yep.
Darren is Raleigh, North Carolina.
Oh, cool.
So Darren's closer to you than we are.
I'm in the Lexington, South Carolina area.
My family is
Darren's quite quiet, isn't he?
Not usually.
Maybe it's just me. I mean, I'm not that intimidating, dude. Some say hi.
Darren came on and left his mic muted. He has barely talked, and I don't even know. To be honest, Darren's got some personal stuff going on, and if he needs to have the quiet time.
Sure, totally, dude. Respect. I mean, like, I would just, if I was doing one of these, like, mute, like, I'm going to go take a dump. That's what I would say. I'm old enough where I can get away with that. I'm 46. Once you hit 45, you can get away with saying, I got to take a dump. And people just leave you alone for an hour. It's great.
I mean, granted, we had a show earlier this year with a cosplayer on where my wife was feeling sick and had to leave work early. So during the show, Darren had to take the reins and interview this cosplayer who he had never met before. I met her at Saratoga last year. Mm-hmm. And she was our first guest of the year on this year. And so he had to take the reins. And I put it on the phone while I went to get Leanne from work and back and whatnot. And, he did a good job on there. Hi, HH. Welcome to the show.
I was going to say, yeah.
About time that we had some talking in the chat. You're right. It has been too quiet. So if you're out there watching, come over to YouTube, hop in the chat. We don't bite. Well, I can't speak for Jason, but,
Yeah. I mean, the great thing is, I love interaction with people on our chat that we used to have on Spreaker. I think we're only using Spreaker, dude, because I think we paid for it we did that like lifetime, which is 20 years worth of shows. So I think we're just using it so we can crash and burn for free. But the interaction is half the thing.
Yeah, no, we've had recent shows where like it's entirely chat based.
One second, dude. Somebody's actually at my door at this time of night.
No problem. Hey, not a problem, HH. Glad that you're enjoying the show. As I said, Jason Moulton, friend of ours. I've known him for many years. He ran Vermont Comic-Con for 5 years in the Burlington, Vermont area. I made 3 of them, and it was the only convention to date that I have actually hosted a panel at or been a part of a panel at, which was kind of weird the first time because earlier in the day, I went to a panel for Naomi Grossman. And then like an hour later or 2 hours later, I'm sitting at the same table as part of a podcasting panel talking about what it's like to host shows like this. So it was kind of surreal to go from the guy in the seats to the guy behind the table.
Yep.
Quiet, he's back. No.
I'm very sorry about that.
No worries, life happens.
You know what? Live radio, you gotta love it.
I mean, luckily in the years I've done live radio, I've never. Well, I would say as a group that we've had our shares of belches, farts, and hiccups and everything else. That's the cool thing about live radio is you're never too prepared.
Oh yeah, I'm actually, and it's funny you talk about that. And this is going to go down the paranormal talk radio path of when I was a co-host for Periscope Uncensored. We were interviewing a paranormal team that I was a part of out of Massachusetts. Somebody during that interview ripped one loud enough and they started to argue over who did it.
Oh, I would claim it. If it was like that, I'd be like, dude, that was totally me. See,
worst part about it was
love
the
being
host
in my
blamed
40s
me.
now, because you're in your 40s. You're allowed to just say, you know what? I don't have to be good looking anymore. I don't have to. I mean, I try for the wife, but I don't have to strive
I'm not
to be.
allowed to. I'm not allowed to baby face it, like clean shave all this stuff, unless it's for
Tasha's
cosplay.
never seen me clean shaven, ever.
And
Like
see,
I don't think.
feel like
I don't think I've ever been
that's
clean
a
shaven.
gender thing.
No.
Because
No.
because I feel like I have to actually put effort into my appearance. Granted, half the time I don't bother. But
See, there's this thing I tell Tasha every morning, and this is getting way off the subject, but I totally mean it. Since I've met her, every day I say, honey, you're the most beautiful woman in the world, especially when you wake up in the morning, because I totally feel it. I'm like, if you could go, you can go out with no makeup, you can go out with makeup, whatever. Like I am so into her, it's ridiculous. I'm still every day more madly in love with her, and we find more ways to spend time together. But I totally mean it. So I mean, makeup, no makeup, I don't give two shits. If she wants to rock with, I mean, it's not like she wears pajama bottoms to Walmart. She's not of that crowd, of that ilk.
Oh.
We don't even go to Walmart. I hate that place.
Target for me.
Walmart.
Yeah.
Walmart. I have my opinions on Walmart. I will not get into that.
Yeah, I used to work for Walmart, and I had very negative experiences as an employee. So I prefer to shop at Target. Better quality stuff, in my opinion.
Oh, see, now I see HH coming. Oh, dude, no, dude, you're HH. Have a good dialogue you guys are having. Thank you, HH. Hopefully you'll tune into our show too if you like this one. No, see, when I talk to Doug, we could just be on the phone or something. We just go on and go on and go on and go on. I mean, I love him like a brother. Really, it's like he's one of the few people I still consider a friend from that realm of Comic-Con world. Most people just want to kill me in that world. I'm probably like, I know my face is on some wanted posters.
None that I've seen.
You should tell her that you're jealous that she can get away with wearing. See, I wish I could wear makeup. I wish I could rock that. I totally wish I could rock that. I'd look like a clown. I mean, I had to wear makeup for TV once. I did live TV in Vermont a lot for interviews, things like that. I'm like, let's just do this and powder and afterward, I just went, get the away from me, because I'm telling you what, you're not going to make this look good. This is like as good as it gets. That's it.
I mean, I actually got the trimmers and had to shave, trim this stuff down because I was sick of eating mustache hair. But
Oh, see, it's usually when you get like the electric one, it's got that flat head, and you just turn it around and you're done. Now I trim it all the time. I mean, I don't manscape as much as I should, but because I'm fucking old. Or sorry about the F word, but I'm just old, and
it's okay. I just got about 4 of them, so
I don't manscape like I used to.
I
mean,
not
that I've got like a mane or anything down there, but
I feel like it's.
I try to keep somewhat clean for the wife, because we have a pretty awesome bedroom life. So I mean, even at 46, I feel like a 17-year-old. But
nothing wrong with that.
Man, I tell you, it's keeping up with a 37 that girl 9 years younger than you is tough. It's a good thing I'm an old Irish. You know what?
I won't tell you the age difference with me and Leanne, but we have you beat.
No way, you do? I never knew that. I thought you guys were like. I thought you were super young. I didn't know you were, close to me. You don't have to say. I mean, that's all. That's totally up to you. But me, like, I just go, yeah.
I messaged it to you.
Got it right on. I got you. Oh, that's not bad. Come on, you have me beat, but that's not by much.
No, but you were close with the 15.
Nah, see, Leanne's she's one of the coolest people I've ever met in the business too. And you two are like some of my favorite peoples on earth. Like if I was totally wealthy, you would be too. That kind of cool. Like I would buy you guys a house down here just to have good neighbors. But the great thing is, like, that's this world. That's not like Comic-Con land, but that's the cool thing about this. Like if you're like a somewhat educated, I mean, I'm college educated. I've got, I'm well read. I can speak somewhat a couple languages. And when you talk to somebody, if you actually just talk to them, you can rope in anybody as long as it's like a good, well, it's roping like a cattle or anything. But you can actually connect with somebody that's above you. Like I consider her way above me. But you can actually do it if you get a little bit of mojo and a little bit of game. But you know, as long as you're not I hate when dudes like mess around with people. Like if you're legit and you want to just meet somebody, which that was half of Comic-Con. I just wanted to talk to somebody. I didn't care if it went to the bedroom or to dinner. I just wanted to talk to somebody, you know, and that's how we met. So I mean, it's 9 years age difference. I just consider that I'm Superman, dude. You know?
I mean,
totally.
with Leanne, we met at, for me and her both, it was our second ever conventions we attended.
Oh, no kidding.
Small convention called Bakuretsu-Con in Colchester, New York. She was there with her She was there with her ex-husband and her younger brother. Had made 2 fursuits of Pokemon for them. That's how we met. We became friends because Baku was such a small con, and see each other 4 or 5 times a day.
I always felt bad for them. I got, offered a table every year. I was so slammed with work. I just couldn't even make it there, but they were always gracious and cool. And I always gave them a table at my show just because, you'll never use the one at ours. And I wish I could. I really do. But if I'm talking on a Make-A-Wish panel, or I'm doing a commercial for this or that, or I'm doing something, I could never, ever get there. And I always wanted to go. I will never go to another show, another con in my life, unless I have some sort of mental breakdown and forget who I am and what I do. I decided I never want to go to a show. I'm working on another comic right now, actually, but I'll never be promoting it because I'll have the artist promote it for me. But it's such PTSD, dude, in this convention world that I never want to go to another show. I never want to set foot in another con. I really don't. It's just poison for the soul for me. And that's how I am right now. I mean, if my kids one day say, Dad, we really want to go, and we know you're hanging, I would take them in a second because they're my kids, but it's not for me.
Yep.
If it was for me, I just wouldn't go. Besides, I'm too damn lazy. I just want to stay home. I want to be a hermit.
I too met my husband at an anime convention, and I was in the process of getting a divorce. And the only reason I was still there is because my friends had an artist alley table, and I said I would help. And my buddy's just like, go find some guy to talk to. You talk to everybody.
You are pretty bubbly and outgoing. Just know
that is my nature. And and the story of how we met is very literally, I didn't realize I said something out loud until I got an answer. And
there you go.
And that prompted literally a 2+ hour conversation, and then swapping social media and phone numbers and going our separate ways and having our first date 2 weeks later. And
she's regretted it ever since.
That event will be 10 years ago this fall.
Yeah, mine was way, way worse. I mean, I was friends with her for a long time before we got together because she actually was caring for her dying husband at the time. And, I was just trying to be a pillar of hey, you talk to me. And not oh, you actually talk to me. No, it was you talk to me on a level where I was just a person, not a dollar sign. Because every girl I talked to up there was like, oh, you have money? Yes, I do. Great. Fantastic. Now I know why you want to have a date with me. Definitely not for my looks. But, we talked for a long time, and I raised money for things and for her and things like that. And we just became such good friends, and we became very inseparable working together. And it was completely platonic, when most people thought, oh, they're totally doing it. No, we weren't. It was a long time before we did, because, it was out of respect. And it was could we have done it the first night? Sure, probably, more than likely. But this was the first person I really took my time and wanted to just get to know. And because she was totally cool as a person, and I didn't even know what she looked like for the first, 2 or 3 times I met her, because she was always in cosplay, makeup and everything. But after the unfortunate passing, and she collected herself, and a while later we just decided to date, and then we got married, and a couple years ago. So life's been absolutely fantastic. She's gonna be a doctor, so what do I have to contribute to society, which more than she does? She's legit. She's awesome. She's an Air Force veteran. She's gonna be a doctor and a teacher, professor. I can't measure up. Why are you with me? I'm just some, in your face radio host, and I write books and teach cooking and, take care of the kids and stuff. I don't know. Maybe it's my bedroom prowess. Who knows? Maybe she's just taking care of an old geezer. Who knows?
I think it's just because it's you. In all honesty.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I'm usually a good judge of character, and I've been fooled like anybody else. But the people that I stay close to, the people I get talk with on a regular basis or try to reconnect with, are people who I have a lot of respect for. I'm somebody who tries to better myself, even though it may not seem like it. And I have been going through a lot of personal issues over the last couple of years, especially since the pandemic, coming out about being through depression and stuff, which I'm still working through and everything. But, I try to surround myself with positive people who are moving forward in a direction I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that be successful in whatever it is I'm doing because they were successful in something they did. If it's just me promoting and uplifting cosplayers, conventions, artists, comic creators, whatever the case may be, the main reason I started the show to give back to this community, because the community helped me through a messy divorce. So
that's a real testament to the community, man. I mean, that's fantastic. Especially since this whole, I know on the XCast you won't hear a lot of pandemic talk. We may mention it once or twice a year. The real horrible part about it is the depression, and especially in this comic world, when you don't have shows for a while, it takes away their livelihoods, and it takes away. And I feel bad for the promoters still doing the shows and losing their shirts over it. It's horrible. Like I said, I don't care if ChaseCon or Rhode Island or Hartford or San Diego, New York, whoever, Florida, or EBF show. I don't care what their thoughts on me are. That's irrelevant. I don't want to see anybody go belly up, because that's going to destroy people's groups that they go hang out with, and it's going to just stop the cosplay that they do and the insane art that they create, or the really cool stories they come up with, or just the concept of the item they're going to sell, or the fan experience. Those things, when they're lost, that's going to really destroy a lot of people who are already introverted by nature, and that's horrible. And that's the one thing that has, in the pandemic, that I've thought of the most is, man, I reached out to a few people that I know are usually very quiet. I'm like, hey, if you need something, if you need to talk to somebody, it doesn't have to be me, but just reach out, shoot up a flare, and I know somebody will talk to you, whether it's me, Tasha, whoever. We'll find you somebody to talk to, even if it's just on a FU level and you just want to go off. Do it, man. It's really pained me to know that there's a few people I know that are no longer on this earth because of that reason, because of depression. And I'll be damned if I'm going to let somebody else go without at least saying, hey, I love you. I'm here for you. You can hate on me all you want. I don't care if you hate my guts or love my guts. I'm here. And you can verbally beat the crap out of me, and you can just whatever, man. Smoke a joint, relax, have a beer. I don't know. Kick a wall. But it's a definite sad part, because I know that there's a few people I know personally who just have kicked it since the pandemic started, not for pandemic reasons, but for depression, which is a byproduct.
Yeah, and you're talking about dealers, vendors, artists who have had to change livelihoods and stuff. Yeah. I just saw a post recently of a vendor, Otaku Joe's. I don't know if you know them or not, but they usually go to bigger conventions, Kineticon, Anime Boston. They're there. They travel around the country, and Joe is a friend of one of our sponsors, Gavin Goska with Home Circle Media, and so we have built a connection because of Gavin with Joe. So when we see him at conventions, we have a "Hail Satan" that we yell, and he yells back because of the fun that started. And he has seen an extreme decline in DVD sales since the pandemic started, because he was selling a lot of wall scrolls, DVD sales, things like that. He's actually had to switch up his entire inventory to figures to try to recuperate some of the lost money of the fact, and he said it's more so thanks to streaming sites like Funimation, High Dive, Crunchyroll, Netflix, Hulu, all these places where you can, spend $5 to $8 a month and get unlimited anime on all your devices. So who's buying DVDs anymore?
See, I'm one of those old people that will still do that, but it's going to be a rare item. Like, I'll buy some concert footage from Finland on a DVD. You know what I mean? If there's a really old, sweet cut of like an anime, that'll sell. But I understand But you have to evolve, honestly, even through pandemic, through endemic, through poor market and bad market. You've got to evolve your product constantly. Or if you don't, you're stale. And I know it sounds horrible and judgmental as shit, but if you don't evolve, just like the shows.
But if you
I evolved the shows to not be a dick and fart festival, to where you can actually have a good fan experience, or you can just go drink at the bar. That's the cool thing. But if you don't evolve and you don't really, if you don't evolve, you don't have the pulse of the customer. My opinion, because when you change things up, it's due to, you don't want to, but it's due to the market. It's due to what people want. I mean, if everybody all of a sudden wants pot holders, I'm selling freaking pot holders. I'm not selling t-shirts anymore. But that's just the way life goes. That's the market of any part of commerce, is just what they want. You could have 1,000 Mercedes in your house, your garage, and you won't sell them if nobody wants them. But if everybody wants it,
no one wants
Yugos, you better start stocking up.
No one wants a Mercedes, especially not in the winter.
I totally want a Mercedes.
I
was actually going to buy a Mercedes when I got down here, but I decided on a VW Jetta SEL.
I hate Mercedes with a passion. In
fact,
being a mechanic, I hate all German cars.
I just joke because being in New England in the snow.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want a fancy car in the snow.
My dad lives in Dennisport, Mass. My mom and dad, they live at the Cape, and they just bought a Mustang E, and they don't have a garage. Like, why are you buying a car that's $60,000-$70,000 without a garage? Like, that's terrible.
There's a reason.
I've got a garage, and I've got a 2021 SEL I just bought. It's white, it's nice. Everybody in the South drives white cars, I guess, but it's beautiful, it's great, and it's comfortable, and it's in my garage. It's safe.
I don't have a garage, but I live in Brighton.
Oh, you live in Brighton. Oh, I know a lot of people in Brighton.
But street parking is what it is. I drive a 2011 subcompact. See,
HH wants an 80s diesel Mercedes. Good for you. I like this HH dude, guy, girl, whatever. I think they're cool. At least they're coming up with the right things. I mean, I'm not a car guy. I think that standard mode, I thought it meant slow, So, I mean, I'm not a car guy.
I can attest to the 80s model diesels for the Mercedes, because that's what my dad had.
Nice.
That car and body had probably 400,000 miles on it, and before he swapped the engine.
I will stay by my 2003 Monte Carlo that I had. I bought it and it had like 27,000 when it died because the head gasket blew, and I drove it for another month with the head gasket blown, adding water every 10 minutes. It had 287,000 miles on it.
God, I am the most apparently responsible car. Like I trade mine in when it hits 100 or 60 or whatever. I just traded my 2017 Fusion for the Jetta.
My first car was a 2003 Sunfire that I got brand new.
My first car was an 80s car.
I abused the hell out of that car. And when it finally got totaled, it had over 150,000 miles on it.
See, I feel like I've reached a milestone this year, because usually it was, I don't care what freaking car I drive. And then it was like, I got the Expedition and the Fusion and stuff like that, because we had a Ford dealership in town. But now, like, I went and got the Volkswagen in December, and it had 200 miles on it when I got it. I'm like, this is the first time I've ever bought a car in the year I'm in. Did I make it? Is that a thing?
I still haven't.
I heard it was a thing, and like apparently I did the thing, and I didn't even know it. But now I'm like, whoa, I just did this, and it didn't break me. Like, this is an easy car payment. And down south, it's not going to be. We did have snow, actually. It snowed for a night, and it was gone the next day. But it was crazy.
I got a foot outside, and I know, Ange, you had 2 feet not that long ago.
Oh my god.
Hey. Yeah, we had 2 feet, and there's still chunks of it left.
Oh, it was 75 2 days ago here. It really was. Like Christmas, it was 70 degrees. It was awesome. I mean, I'm spoiling myself because you know what? with the knee surgeries and everything else I've had, I deserve some warm weather all year round. I mean, granted, in the summer when it's humid as hell, I'll be inside in the central. But I'm looking at my robot over there. It's 47 degrees right now, and that's cold down here.
See, the humidity of the South would kill me.
Yeah, that's why I love Central, and I've got the AC in the car. I'm just gonna hibernate all summer.
Don't do that. I have to say, come to the Carolinas. You can have all 4 seasons in a day.
Yeah, dude, I'm in South Carolina.
Oh, I'm in North.
So, hi, neighbor.
Yeah. To put it in perspective, it was 70 degrees here on Friday, and then it went down into the 30s the next day for the high.
See, like I'm down in like central South Carolina, just central to southeast. So I mean, the Greenville area, which is the northwest, was 35 or 45 on when I had 75-degree weather. So we're like further down we're by Columbia. So I'm central North Carolina. I'm just outside of Raleigh. Oh, cool. Yeah, I have family in Raleigh and Durham, and also Charlotte and stuff. So it's pretty cool. Well, good to talk to you, Darren. Finally.
I'm just glad we're finally talking to someone more from my area.
Well, I mean, since October, I've been from your area. I mean, I'm from Mass.
Originally from my neck of the woods.
Yeah,
but still,
I'm just one of the people that said, you know what, F New England. I don't want another cold winter. What the hell are we doing? Like my wife, she's a military vet who's been injured beyond injured, and I've had multiple surgeries on my knees, and screw the winter. Let's just go down south and live. And it's been the best decision we've ever made.
It's funny. They got some people. One of the local groups around here said, "I'm a realtor and I got clients moving from California. Who do you recommend for a moving company?" And then several people said, "Tell them to stay in California."
Yeah, see, I find that once in a while here. Usually I find a lot of I'm on to those awesome Facebook groups that happenings in Lexington or moving from New England to South Carolina kind of thing. But there are some people in town who have seen my tattoos like at the store and commented to where I literally just turned around and said the things I'm not going to say in the air here, but you got to sound your A. So when somebody says, "Oh, welcome to the South," I go, "Well, thank you." And if they like, "Oh, you should go back where you came from," I'll probably give them a knuckle, right in the chin. Like I'm just not suffering any fools, none. I'm too old to suffer any fools. I've never have before, and I don't think I'm gonna start now. But damn, let's talk some anime, dude. Anime or XCast? You pick anime. I want some good anime because you always give good recommendations. I never watch them, but I want the recommendations anyway because I got a list.
About to say, join the club.
Yeah, we all have I didn't think I was going to start watching as many, and I know this anime that I have binge watched in this past week. Technically came out last season with Banished from the Heroes Party. I decided to move to the countryside and live a quiet life. It's a very long title. Thank you, light novels. But the ironic thing is I sat down and I wanted, there were some voices in this show that sounded familiar, but I couldn't figure out who they were. And that's a game I like to play when I'm watching shows because doing this podcast for 8 years and talking to so many voice actors and watching hundreds and hundreds of animes, there are certain people, you hear a certain tone. If I hear a scream, I can say that's Todd Haberkorn. Or I hear a voice and it's that's Brittany Karbowski's voice, or that's Monica Rial. Or you can pick certain voice actors out.
Sure. And
I had one of those that I couldn't figure out who it was, so I looked up the casting list for this, and it turned out to be Tia Ballard, and I didn't realize it was her. And then I stopped and thought about it because in my head, more recent roles of Tia Ballard were I was thinking of Happy the Cat from Fairy Tale, very happy, upbeat, cheerful, high-pitched. 02 was kind of a mediocre range. This was more along lines of early Tia Ballard, Misere from Rosario Vampire, very low tone because the character she's playing is the hero. She was blessed with the hero's blessing, which means she feels no emotions, she feels no pain, no poisons, nothing can harm her. She can heal herself, heal other people, and all this stuff. So she has to play a very monotone character, which is what threw me off because I hadn't heard her voice like that since Misere.
Nice. Dude, I just noticed something on the screen here. It says, you're in the show. Everyone could see and hear you. I almost showed up naked. I totally did. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to show up naked on the show and see what Doug says. I mean, you can only see from the waist up anyway. Like, I'm just going to show up naked and see what he does.
What's funny, we did a show and we had Rusty, Gilligan, and Jay Morris on the show.
Yep.
Well, Rusty,
somebody I'm friends with and somebody that hates my guts. Awesome.
and the funny thing about it was you can change the little what's underneath of you during the show. So once they realized that, they started having fun. So Rusty put up Doug's not wearing pants, which I've changed mine to say he's right. I'm wearing shorts.
Oh, I would actually do this show naked. Obviously you won't see the bottom half, but like, how cool is that? You know, no one's gonna care. Exactly, HH. Next time I do this show, I'm just gonna show up with like nothing on.
I have
maybe just a cock ring or something.
God.
I'll wear my signature like Boston hat or my black one, and I'll just wear nothing else. I'll wear headphones. I'll wear my shades. I'll tell you what. I'll wear my signature Ray-Bans. My signature. I usually wear just a signature black hat and Ray-Bans, because Tasha actually wanted to sign me up for OnlyFans and have me cook only in an apron. And I said, yeah, okay. Who the hell wants to watch a 46-year-old dude? She's like, you look great, and here's the list of people that already want to be part of it. I'm like, they want to just turn around once in a while so I can see your butt. Sure, yeah, no problem. I can make money off that at my age. Sure, yes. All right, right on. I'm gonna do it.
You'd be surprised.
Yes, see, I mean, why not?
You'd be surprised at what people will spend money on.
If they spend money, granted, these are a lot of Midwest ladies that want to see this. So, I mean, take it for what it is. I'll totally do it. You know, like, why not? I mean, if they're going to pay $10 a month to see my ass, well, I'm actually cooking and teaching them how to cook and actually give them a recipe that they'll want. Whether they pay attention or not is beyond irrelevant. But if they want to see me just wearing a Bistro 43 apron, and I mean, like, I'm 46. I do okay. You know, I'm all right. 46. I do pretty good. So, I mean, you know, I think I'm all right for 46. But, you know, I'm no, like, you know, well-built, muscle-bound dude. I'm just normal, not quite dad bod. I mean, I don't have the big, huge gut.
That's me.
But I mean, I've got a semi-dad bod because I'm not toned. But I mean, if they want to see that cook, I'm just covered in tattoos, like, from my everywhere. So, except for like the parts I'd show Doug, I'm not covered down there. You know,
be the guy.
Those parts will remain the same. But you know,
be the guy from HH is going on.
not enough beer. HH. I'm telling you, if you come listen to the XCast, we always talk about scissor and what we're drinking. But yeah, next time, Doug, I'm coming naked. Sorry, just gonna happen. Because at my age, I don't care. I'll probably just show up and say, "Oh, am I on? I didn't realize anybody could see me." Yeah. No, I'll just show up naked. You're gonna think I'm just not wearing a shirt or something. It'll scare everybody away. It'll just be tattoos everywhere. It'll look like I'm wearing a shirt anyway.
Be like what's his
I would
name
totally do
from,
that just to be an asshole.
Be like what's his name from Food Wars, because
if I
cooking in a naked apron is his gig.
If I talk to Doug, he's like one of the few people I do talk to. If I say something like, "Dude, I'm just gonna show up naked," and he'll laugh, I'll do it. Like,
I know you will. That's crazy. That's why I'm like,
oh God.
He'll never have me on again. Thank you, Anime-Zing Radio. It's been great.
And then he will kick you off so fast.
No, that would be the episode. I'd be like, all right, everybody just take shirts off and sit there with no shirt, except for Ange.
I was going to say,
come on.
I can't be there.
See, the thing is, I would.
We'd make that an 18+ show.
I'll be back.
What if I was wearing a sports bra that covered everything?
Hey, Doug.
Well, no, I'd be afraid of Jay standing up.
I'll wear one too if it makes you comfortable, Angela.
I don't care.
I'll wear my wife's sports bra if it makes you comfortable. I should do that. I'd be like, I'm
If
wearing
you
Tasha's
wanted-
sports bra. That's what I'll do next time. I'll be like,
if
I'm
you
all
wanted to
I'm
do
doing is
that-
wearing Tasha's sports bra today.
If you want to do that,
I couldn't
my
fill
guess-
it, but does that work? Like, would it be saggy on me or something? I don't know.
Oh my god.
Never tried one on. Tosh, if you hear me, bring down your sports bra.
Oh my god.
That gets
That's what's great about never having to punch in a job anymore is I can be this silly. You know what? I can be the silly dude, and who cares? Who's gonna? Somebody gonna fire me? Screw that! I'm retired.
See, this is where it gets into. I've done enough conventions of all types. I've been around enough people where there's a group of people who have in fact seen me topless.
I want to start BoobieCon. That thing. We can have a men's section and a women's section.
I believe it was called Nauticon, and I believe it turned into a shit show.
Or Dragon Con. I've heard that too. See, HH, pretty cool. There you go. You know what you need to do, Doug, is just don't tease it out. Just say like, oh, and tonight we're gonna have Jason Moulton from the XCast. Except I think it'll be all three of us in sports bras and socks, where like Red Hot Chili Pepper style. I would totally, I'll wear. My wife doesn't wear a thong or anything, but I would buy one just to wear that in her sports bra. Except it'd be way uncomfortable. Like I would probably be picking it out half the show. So I would just do stupid things like that because why not? Life's fun, man. Make it fun. I don't have to be in front
put on the Kobayashi wig.
I don't have to be, some great diplomat of Comic-Con world anymore. I don't have to be anything. I'm never gonna punch a clock again. I may punch
that's
people
where
again.
I would do something. That's where I'd probably do something silly.
Yeah, why
show up
not?
in a dress.
And put on a short skirt and a crop top and call it a day.
I'll start in a dress next time. I'll take it off and have the sports bra. And I'll just be wearing I've got this gnarly ass beard, and I'll be wearing my shades and my signature hat, and I'll just be like, smoking a pipe and be like, all right, I'm ready. I look like a, Betty Davis or something.
Oh my god, could we get Lady
100.
Beard on that show when Jason does that?
I'll do it, man.
I don't know if any of you know who Lady Beard is, but
the scene that came to mind was actually from Spaceballs, where they catch not the people they're looking for, but the stunt doubles.
Yes.
See, I would totally just do stupid things like that only because I can. The wife doesn't. She could give two shits less. She knows who I am. She knows I'm a wise ass. My neighbors, on the other hand, that are right here, I'd have to draw my shades a little bit, but it's not like I go out there naked, but I would if it was so freaking illegal. I wouldn't care. It's just my ass. Who wants to look at a 46-year-old dude's ass besides my wife? But why not? I'll show up in a sports bra next time. Let's do it. Let's rock it.
And you'd be surprised.
Let's rock it.
Watch that be the show that kicks off Anime-Zing Radio to all new heights for wrong
It
reasons.
might. I mean, the second we went from censored to uncensored when we did the VCast to the XCast, it blew up. And it's purely because if you just want in everyday life, when people are punching into work and they're driving to work and they're going to work and they're mundane lives, and then they talk to people and hi and how are we doing and take shit from customers, and when they get home they want to cut loose, but then they feel like, oh, I can't because I got to watch this kid, I got to do this, I got to pay a bill. We're like the personification of their insides wanting to come out, and that's what makes it so damn cool.
Trying to explain to my boss that me running around with a rocket launcher in a video game, murdering everything, keeps me sane. He did not understand this.
Well, then he's probably never experienced stress in his life. I don't know.
Or he's never experienced running around with a rocket launcher.
Because that sounds pretty damn awesome to me. I mean,
that was at that point in time, I was still finishing Borderlands 3. And subsequently lighting things on fire and throwing grenades and a rocket launcher. And
well, it's funny because we play every weekend and sometimes during the week, but I have a bunch of family, uncle, dad, cousin, some other people. We all play, we'll play a lot of sports games like hockey and stuff, but we'll also play Rainbow Six a lot or Sniper. And then somebody will be like, honey, I'll get a text like, oh, it's Tasha. Like, what are you doing? I'm trying to save the world here. I'm killing Nazis. You know, like, I'm trying to save the world here, man. Like I'm rescuing hostages and and defusing bombs. You know, that's what we do. You know,
Yep.
it's the best part. Best part of
Timothy
life.
wants to know for the rocket launcher, wrist mounted or shoulder launched?
The answer is
Yes.
the answer is probably yes. Considering in any game where there's guns, I tend to have a rocket launcher because rocket launchers do not require aim.
And for those of you who are fans of the Borderlands series and want to be jealous, the first voice actor I ever interviewed was Jeremy Lee, who voiced Gage in the Borderlands series.
Yeah, I like Borderlands a lot, actually. I do really like that a lot.
My husband is actually friends with the lead writer for Gearbox.
So what does your husband do if you're all crazy running around with a rocket launcher? Is he like developing some sort of armor?
No, we play different games. We tried playing Borderlands together. That did not last because he's the sniper and I pissed him off by running in guns a
Yeah, because
blazing.
my wife and I play the one game we play together. I mean, we used to play like hockey and rainbow and stuff like that. The one game we consistently play together when she has time, when she's not, saving the world, being an Ayurvedic doctor and going for a PhD and teaching classes as a professor and stuff blows my mind. But Fallout 76, we play that together a lot. And
Nice.
She is crazy good at that game. I'm like uber jealous, and everything I learned is pretty much from her. But we love that game. Love it.
I'd say the game Leanne and I play the most that we can play together at the same time is Minecraft, because it's a mindless game where we can just, hang out, do whatever. She likes to just run wherever.
Claptrap, yes.
Best
Look
game.
at me, I'm
Best game I
dancing.
know. Although I was in a hockey tournament last year. I don't know why they're not doing it this year, or if they are, it's not going to be till later. I was in the top 100 of everybody that was in there, like the entire contest. Then the top 10%, then the top 1%. And I'm like, man, I'm pretty freaking. I actually am this good at this because I kill everybody I play against normally. Like 35-2 or something like that. But it's crazy. I mean, I love gaming. I don't like tabletop gaming because I'm too dumb for that. I'm really not that cerebral when it comes to tabletop gaming.
I feel like the way everything is set up now, you could probably build a character and just play to what you know.
I think, because we've been talking, Ange, about doing a character development show and doing an RPG playthrough live on the air some night.
That'd be great. The character would be Jay in a sports bra.
If you wanted to partake in this, because literally tabletop role playing, it's like everything else. It's what you make
I would be
of it.
such a blight on this show. You would be.
See, if I were going to I have role played literally so many different types of characters at this point because I've been role playing for 20 years.
How long, this is till 10, right, Doug?
Yep, we got about a half hour left.
Because I was thinking, I could text Tosh and have her bring me a sports bar right now.
You could.
She's probably sleeping. Like, screw this kid.
Or plan this for next time when we do.
I'll just change right now. I was joking with everything until I saw everyone can see and hear you. Oh, okay. Then I should do something stupid.
No, it's.
At least, our show, at least at first, we're doing the, you can only hear us. So you can't see me scratching my nuts or anything, or, smoking some weed or something. You can't see that, you can't. But it's probably better that way, because if you had to watch Jimmy D, Ken, and I in the XCast Wednesdays, 7 to 9, you like how I threw that in there? You would just see three dudes that you don't know how we ever got along in life. Like, how did they make it? Why can't
I wonder how I lasted this long,
See,
in all honesty.
There's a couple of guys that I used to work with that I see quasi regularly, and the whole thing is part of the shtick is they keep trying to say the most outlandish things to get me to react. And they're always surprised by the things I react to versus my indifference to what they think I'm going to react to.
Well, there you go. I mean, it's pretty awesome, though. You can do some fun stuff and really get people. And
subsequently, they joked we should start a podcast where the entire joke is me dealing with the idiots.
No, see,
and the 5-year-old humor.
I just like that I can come on here, be myself, and not have to be like, I'm promoting a show in Vermont, and I have to watch what I say. I couldn't get political back in the day. I couldn't say crap, anything. I couldn't say anything because anything would be a reflection of the show. Now it's like, I can F up as much as I want online and the radio and on the air. I can say whatever the hell I want, and it's not going to matter because I'm never going to be fired from a job. It's awesome. It's liberating. The only boss I have is upstairs, probably sleeping right now. Like that. My wife is my boss, and then she says I'm her boss. Whatever. But it's a great dynamic because she'll just say, "All right, Jay, that's enough." Like, I'll just get crazy and be like, "Okay, how about I just do something stupid?"
So at this point, you're the housewife.
Oh, totally. Like I teach cooking. I got the radio show. She goes to school full time and is studying Ayurvedic medicine. So that's a lot of commitment for time. So I mean, I'm a chef, so I do all the cooking. I'm down here, so I do all the cleaning anyway. So yeah, I'm kind of the housewife. I should wear the dress and the sports bra.
Hey, about to say, go watch Ways of the House Husband.
That is so good.
See, it's funny because when you retire at such a young age, as they say, I was 43, and I'm like, I want to do something, but I don't want to be around people because F people. So I'm going to learn to cook because we just bought a house in Londonderry at the time in New Hampshire, and it had a 6-foot stove with like 6 burners and all this huge hood. I couldn't cook a Pop-Tart. So I studied and took classes and became a gourmet chef, which is insane to me. So, I mean, I do Bistro 43 online, which is my cooking channel on Facebook. And then now, I mean, that's basically what I do.
I don't mean to laugh when you said Pop-Tart, but one of our friends who has his own show, that's a tabletop gaming show, Douglas Shoot with Victory Condition Gaming. And thank you, Derek. And he is like big on raspberry Pop-Tarts, but you don't cook them and you don't eat the edges.
I'm because I am who I am. I'll just F you, Doug. There you go. That's for you.
No, raspberry Pop-Tarts are delicious, but you have to put them in the toaster.
No, see, I don't like Pop-Tarts. Pop-Tarts are pretty much just they're crap. I mean, think about how long does it take to cook a Pop-Tart? Minute and a half? You could have eggs and toast done by then. Totally done. Oh boy. Darren is obviously a health food fanatic.
See, now I say this, I haven't actually had a Pop-Tart in probably 10 years at least, if not 20.
But do you know that there is microwave instructions on a box of Pop-Tarts?
Dude, there's probably microwave instructions on, an embalming kit. They're everywhere, Instructions, you can get instructions for anything. But the cool thing is now, I mean, they are trying to be helpful, even though the shit inside is not helpful. I mean, they even give you like air frying, convection oven, all sorts of instructions. So at least they're trying to help out, have you cook their crap. At least they tell you to remove the foil before putting it in the microwave.
Yep.
I mean, that's helpful.
Some dumbass was like, "Oh, I just threw the whole box in there," and then the microwave goes boom.
You know for a fact that happens. I don't even use the microwave. Actually, I know I use the microwave as a bread box and a clock. But I never use the microwave.
Yeah.
All right, Gordon Ramsay.
We didn't even have one. Actually, I studied under him, Darren. There you go.
I work in a fast food environment where they brag that they don't have a microwave. It's literally on the commercials. Bojangles is super proud of their stuff. And yes, I'm sure you've noticed.
I've been to Bojangles.
Yes, because that is my day job, and that's where I've been for the past 8 years. And that is
I can tell you one thing about Bojangles,
North Carolina.
It's probably one of the best. We had no refrigerator for a month when we were here because we had to order one. We tried different places like restaurants, fast food places, things like that. Just sample things here and there. That one's probably the best, honestly. Like it's almost like crack. Yes, HH, I did.
HH has also studied under Ramsey.
Do you know what else? It's kind of funny. One of my managers swears that we have crack in our food. We don't, but we do. Because
it's like the Cajun
because there are people that line up outside the door at 5:30 in the morning.
Oh yeah.
A lot of times my drive-through is 5-10 cars deep before I can even unlock the doors at 5:30 in the morning. And you got the old crowd that's literally standing outside the door waiting for you to unlock that lock. And they are pulling on the door before you can even get to that lock.
I can imagine the line at a sex shop first thing in the morning too. That was the case. Imagine what they're looking for. But I mean, I went to Bojangles and I actually had an interesting experience. Like, remember that game box that they came out with?
I believe
it's like this huge ass box with like 20 pieces or something.
Yes. One of
our
tailgate
looks that big on the
boxes,
sign.
yeah.
And in South Carolina, everybody's all about the Gamecocks and the Tigers. Clemson and South Carolina.
Here it's the Panthers.
There you go. So I had a choice of which one. I'm like, surprise me because I don't even know the effing difference. And I'm like, just give me the meal box. And I wasn't even paying attention. This poor old lady was working the window, and she came out with this super huge box that barely fit through my window. I'm like, what is this? This is your order. I'm like, that why it cost $70? I thought it was just great
70.
chicken. Well, I ordered a bunch of stuff to try it because when I go places, I try to sample a lot of things that they have. So it was my first time ever to Bojangles.
I'm sure that people packing your order hated you, and I would be the one cussing your ass out.
Yeah, well, I mean, the cool thing about it is I didn't have to even deal with them. Whatever. I could have been their worst nightmare of the day. I don't give a shit. But it's one of the few places I've been to that's been in the fast food department that isn't like pants crapping horrible. Good Cajun spice though.
Another anime recommendation for you, Jay, and we're talking about tabletop gaming.
This is the point where Jay's going to have to go urinate, so it's been an hour and 45 minutes. So I will return shortly. Too much, actually. Darren would appreciate this one, maybe. I don't know.
Yes. I about to say, you haven't been to the Carolinas, and if you come to the Carolinas, you have to try Cheerwine. I'm sorry.
Cheerwine Zero in a glass bottle is my go-to now. When I have to do radio shows at ungodly hours of the night for a 46-year-old. So I will return, folks. See, I'm honest. I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna go take a squirt. Be back.
So once again, a big thank you for Jason Moulton joining us. Tonight's show has gone so off the rails.
You'd think Julia was here.
Yo.
18+ show. Bring on Jason and Julia.
Jason, Julia, and throw Rusty in there for comedic humor because he can get kind of.
I don't know if Rusty's a good fit based on, as Jason said, the guests that I mentioned before, he has good relations with one, bad with the other, and I don't know which is which. So
50-50, and one of them will be faking it the entire time.
I will keep to myself on that one.
We call the one faking it Darren.
Whoa, geez.
Yep.
You're evil, Doug.
Darren would be the one faking it with the Nico knee.
I'm a pure and innocent soul. I have no idea what you're talking about.
What we do is we turn it into an 18+ edition of some level of Q&A.
Or we
totally
just
missed something. I don't know. Oh, I see. HH saying that's Sonny Ramsey. That's interesting. Yeah, that's what happens when you have too much money at your disposal, and you really want to learn fast. That's exactly what happened.
But before you went to the bathroom, I was going to throw another anime recommendation out there for you.
Please do, because I don't. I'm sorry, I don't have a seal. I was not born with a seal. Like when I get a piss, I just go. Like not in my pants or anything, but I mean, I'll be like, yeah, I gotta go. Or as Tosh would say, because you're Jay. No, we would be halfway, like walking through trick or treating, like 2-3 hours. I'm like, I've had a lot of soda. I'm gonna go pee. It's like, yeah, because you're Jay. You know.
Depends, you know.
See, I'm not that point yet. I'll still go in a bush. You know, I'll just still like walking the side of the road and piss on a bush if I need to.
God.
I'd rather that than
I'll
piss
set
myself.
Yeah, but the anime that I would recommend, and I think Ange knows which one due to the fact of talking about tabletop gaming, but Bo Fury. I think you would really enjoy that. It is an anime story based around a girl whose best friend talks her into playing a VR MMO RPG. So,
Okay.
But she knows nothing about video games.
I should add this to Food Wars and everything else.
Subsequently,
I do have a Doug list right here, by the way.
So
I totally do. It's under my notes for my iPhone, and I've got notes that just say Doug says watch this. It's right there.
Bo Fury.
You might want to add.
It's from a while ago.
But Bo Fury is one to put on the list because, like I said, she doesn't want to get hurt. And I'm sure you have played some RPGs in your life.
Dude, I think it's from 2017 that I have this list. And it's like 8 anime long.
Oh God, I want to hear this list now.
Oh God,
I'm curious about it too.
Talked about anime with Doug. I actually write notes so I remember. Like if I meet somebody, and it's like, oh, Angela, okay, Boston, Brighton, okay, this, and this. And if I don't write it down, you won't remember the details later. So Doug, I wrote, pretty cool dude, very cool wife too. Definitely could be friend material. There you go. Boom. Asked me what kind of anime I watch. I said nothing. And then I said, oh, I watch Ninja Scroll. I've seen that one. That one's badass. And he's like, well, if you like Ninja Scroll and if you like anime, I can recommend a whole bunch of stuff. And then he went on like Food Wars, the whatever. That's the one with the boobs and butts. And then
that's Keijo?
Yeah.
Yes.
I did actually watch that one, which was
I'm just
awesome.
going to interject and read HH's comment. Doing the bar crawl around Plymouth gives you a sixth sense for which bushes don't have security cameras or motion lights.
Now, is he talking Plymouth, New Hampshire?
No, Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. I've been to both places, and trust me, dude, I hear you.
HH is somebody that originally I didn't realize I knew, but we used to have game nights at my friend Sarah's house, and he was one of the people who would be there.
Oh,
so
that's pretty cool.
I know HH personally, even though we didn't hang out a lot, but it's awesome that he's here supporting the show, and it's great to reconnect with people that I haven't seen or talked to in years.
Actually, Doug was the first person to tell me about Death Note. Because I said, I want something dark and crappy.
And
he's like, well, if you like dark, Death Note's dark.
Okay, here's one. Death Parade. Doug couldn't even finish it.
This is the entire manga of Death Note.
Nice.
My husband bought it for me, and I have yet to actually read it, which I need to get on that.
Yeah, I remember talking about Death Note. That one actually was pretty good. I actually saw that one. It's one of those things where if Doug says something, I'll do 1 thing out of 10 because I just don't have enough time. And if I do, I'm being lazy, which I'm incredibly good at.
If you've seen Death Note, one newer anime I will recommend is Platinum End, which is done by the same people.
Platinum End. All right, I'm writing that one down because I still have to watch Food Wars for Doug.
It is very
Platinum
dark.
what?
End.
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 There we go.
Now,
but it is done by the people that do Death Note. I really like it, and it is very.
A student who attempts
very
suicide
dark.
is rescued by his guardian. That sounds pretty badass. See, what I do is I'll mention this to the wife because then she'll watch them, and I'm like, "What did they suck?" Like she watched Hunter x Hunter. You gotta watch the show; it's so good. Like, how many episodes is it? Oh, screw that! I'm not gonna watch that many episodes of a show. Like we haven't even caught up on American Horror Story yet. Come on, man. That's like my favorite show on TV, and we're still half a season behind now. We're only up to the part where the mermaids are happening, versus aliens or zombie vampire things. We're on the last season, but we just literally stopped watching because her school takes up a massive amount of time, and I occasionally want to have sex with my wife, so there's other time, and then there's football that comes on and hockey. So I'm like, when the hell do people have time to actually binge watch things? Like, I need to be sick to binge watch.
I can't say that I like Food Wars, but here's seasons 1 and 2. Thank you,
nice.
Thank you, Sentai Filmworks, for your special you ran a couple years ago.
Doug, on that note, give me 2 seconds, because remember, I got the limited edition sets.
Yes, you got the box sets. So Darren and I both, we really enjoy this. One thing that really annoyed me for Anime Boston 2020 when it was canceled, this blue-haired character right here is one of my favorites from the show.
Darren's watching his video. It looks like he's about to see a ghost, like a paranormal video.
Yeah. Not only did Anime Boston have her English voice actress as a guest, they also had her Japanese voice actress, and I've watched it in both.
So is she like the hot one in the show?
No, everybody says that she is the hot one of the show. I prefer her.
There you go.
Although she's not bad either. Her nickname is Meat Meat because her specialty is meat.
And Darren is showing off a box.
Yeah, Darren is showing off his. Yeah, Darren is showing off his boxes. So that's his limited edition.
If I had a nice little box as Darren, I'd be showing it off. I would show off the box complete. Oh, nice! It comes with chopsticks and everything.
Yeah.
Wow, that's my kid. That's Food Wars, right? Okay.
Food Wars. The reason that you would like this is basically it's the story of this kid who works at a family diner whose dad is a world-class chef.
And so he doesn't realize it.
He doesn't realize it, but we're talking Gordon Ramsay and above level cooking.
Food Wars premium box set. There we go.
I wish I had that box set.
But damn, Doug, this is what's his face's apron that he wore.
Yes,
so.
the
120 at Target. Okay, I get a Target card that works.
I wish I had the box sets like Darren has. I bought these because they were like $10 each on sale through Sentai Filmworks for Christmas one year.
Well, one of my kiddos is all about. There you go. There's the box. Yeah. Because we all as a rule have to use chopsticks when it's time to use chopsticks. We just challenge the kids to use different things and to learn different languages, stuff like that. So we've got a house full of chopsticks.
Oh, that is so cool! It's got the little cooking blade that the brothers used, and
yeah.
See, I'm gonna have to watch that now.
Well, when you said that,
that's going off the list.
You're talking about cooking and studying under Gordon Ramsay. The basis of the show is he goes to a cooking school for elite. The best of the best chefs are teaching you to cook. It has a 90% fail rate. People drop out.
Nice. I've only been cooking literally for like 3 years. I've already been in the top 1% of favorite chef contest and some other things. So that was pretty sweet. Either a lot of people like the pictures or a lot of people just like me or something, which is probably the pictures because I don't sell it that well. Tasha, it was like, oh my God, you made the top 1% of this whole thing. Like, okay, great. What's next? Like, what's for dinner? Because the contest things don't mean shit to me. Like nothing means anything to me anymore. If my family's happy, then that's all. My friends happy, my family's happy, friends good, family's good, great. Nothing else matters. I don't know. I'm just my priorities are so freaking awesome. Like, what are we having for dinner tonight? Should I bring the dogs? Are the dogs all set? The kids all set? Wife's all set? I'm good.
What am I having for dinner tonight? I'm going to have a bowl of cereal.
Oh God. See, once in a while she'll want to do that. Like, I can make you anything. Like, she's had COVID twice. Once really, really like 2 months, can't remember her life bad. And I took care of her every step. That was before vaxxed. And then she had it up until about a week or so ago, like for 2 weeks or so. And, I literally take a tray. I walk up the stairs with a whole bunch of food and everything else I make. Like I'm making her Buddha bowls tomorrow and things like that. I try to keep her like uber, like in the zone. So, like cereal for dinner, I could give you any recipe you want that'll, you can be done in 10 minutes. maybe 15. So, I mean, like, not only follow the XCast, but follow Bistro43 on Facebook. It's very uncensored as well. I don't have my Just Apron on that. That's on OnlyFans.
Although he might do it as a special for, a one-time thing. So you got to tune in every time he's live to see if it's a time that he's in Just an Apron, especially after he watches Food Wars and sees how one of the characters in that just wears an apron.
I am totally gonna and then tune into a future episode if they ever have me back of Anime-Zing Radio where I am just wearing nothing.
But a sports bra.
I might not even wear that. Maybe I'll just wear like nipple clamps or something. I don't know. Not that I own those. I don't even know what the fuck those even look like or what. I don't even know what they cost. I'd be like clothespin, dude.
Nope.
I could have clothespins. Like, where would I find this crap? I'll wear just a clown mask and nothing else. Something.
With Food Wars, it's hard to keep your clothes on in the first place. That's the whole point of the show.
Yeah.
That's the story of life, man.
When Food Wars first came out, it literally was called the Food Porn Show.
Yeah, and it's still called Food Porn.
So that's another reason that I
awesome.
You think I don't know you well, Jay, but like I said, you're gonna watch Food Wars.
See, you know me, but you have no idea about my laziness. After years and years of just like huffing it, like I've enjoyed literally sitting back and playing stupid phone games and just listening to rock and roll or metal music for a while.
I don't know. I don't know your laziness. I think it's just the fact of I cannot be lazy. Even when I try, I have to be doing something. Like I took a friggin' nap today, dude.
I think that's my problem is I don't know how to not be. I don't know how to. Not be active.
Aside from going grocery shopping today, which was really the only thing that we had to do, I booked 3 guests for the radio show. Did promotions. I did play a little bit of Pokemon because my God, Pokemon Arceus.
Oh man,
best Pokemon game I've ever played.
Yeah, dude, I still have a Pokemon Go account.
Oh, same here.
Ditto.
Want to hear how pathetic my character is? I know we get what's the time? 3 minutes. I'm totally hijacking your show like I said I wouldn't. 1 second here.
Well, and we're not restricted. Thank you.
Oh, there you go.
StreamYard and YouTube. I could go longer, shorter.
Let's see.
Could.
My guy is. Yeah, there you go. I am at level 43. Is that awful or what?
Hold on. I'm bringing my account up because I'm probably about there.
I am probably nowhere near there.
Is that good? I didn't know that was good.
I'm 35.
I had to quit playing because my phone ran out of storage.
I'm hatching an egg at the moment because I've been on like a month and a half.
I have a Magikarp I'm trying to catch for
and
my
it's a freaking spiel.
Great. Spiel.
Yep.
Spiel.
Oh, God. Oh, they have a whole heritage thing? Geez, I've not been on forever.
Oh, God. Nope. I am level 36, and I can't angle this correctly. But
I've got like XL candies. I haven't even... Oh, God, there's so many boxes.
And it told me
Yep, so many gifts.
Oh,
I hatched
all right, I clicked out of it because if I'm on there, I will probably be playing till like 4 a.m. Well, so there's no way.
Unfortunately for me, that's the same thing.
You hatched a Spiel, I hatched a Geodude.
Yeah, dude. Oh. Yeah, dude. But that was me with Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. Finally put that on my new tablet, and I've been playing that quite a bit. In the 2 years I quit playing it, they already added three more seasons, and they added the most recent movie. They're on their 5th year already.
Now, before we go too crazily off the rails, we do, Jay, want to give you the chance to promote yourself, promote the podcast coming up. You know it as our shameless plugging section. The floor is yours.
All right. Thank you very much. And thank you, Doug and Aaron, Angela. So you can hear the XCast, the uncensored live radio show, back after a 7-year hiatus. God, it's been that long. Ooh, my God. That's like 2 lives later for me. All right. Well, you can hear that on Spreaker, Spreaker, speaker with an R, really. So Spreaker.com at the XCast, the XCast radio show. It'll be tweeted out. And you can see my little handle at XCast_J. That's purely because after 7 years, I don't have the same phone number, email. I can't use my old handle. I couldn't recover in any way, shape, or form. But yes, Wednesday nights, 7 to 9 Eastern. Thank you for putting that link out there. You can follow that link. You will hear 3 guys talk about a whole bunch of garbage, completely uncensored. And we even cover all sorts of interesting, I can't say it on this show, but let's just say, try us out. You'll like us. I'm sure Angela, Darren, and Doug will tune in once in a while. Just say, "Oh, we're so much better than this asshole." But yeah, so XCast Wednesday nights, 7 to 9 Eastern on Spreaker. Thank you very much. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, etc., and whatever snap face you're on, or whatever little, I don't know, when you tweet or whatever. Go on those social media type things and find the XCast.
Also, be sure to check out his cooking channel.
Yes, Bistro43. That is purely on Facebook. You can sign up for individual lessons. Those cost money. The Bistro43 show does not. So Bistro43 on Facebook or at Bistro43 or email us at thebistro43@gmail.com if you want personal recipes. I also, as a service to anybody that wants lessons, I will tailor make recipes to your diet lifestyle. And just teach you the basics, anywhere from the basics of what to buy, what you need in your kitchen, to all the way up to have you run the gamut of gourmet cooking. So, but proud of both. You can also read the comic Hush by Jay Moulton and Jay Moores. That is out on, I don't know what platform, but it is a comic in existence that I've also written. So that also is part of the show. But anyway, no, that's it for me for shameless plugs. I mean, I'm sure I could think of like, I'm sure I can think of something. I should start promoting other things like, yeah, you should totally drink cheerwine just to get high at night. Cheerwine, for the southern guy or gal in you. God, that stuff is like crack.
We do want to thank Jay for joining us tonight. It has been a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank
of course, if you're new here to the channel, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. We are trying to hit 500 subscribers by the end of the year. That is our goal. We still have the goal of 200 subscribers. We will be doing a giveaway where one lucky subscriber will be a guest co-host for a future voice actor interview. So help us hit that. Also, we have a Patreon, as you can see below my picture here. If you want to support the show, anything helps. Anything from $1. We do have some tiers in there where we do have some cool giveaways and perks. If you want to help us to provide us with new equipment,
I might even send you an autographed sports bra for one of your tiers.
You almost said tip.
I almost did. I almost did.
Yeah, I just did it for you.
But one of our ultimate goals, and I kind of want to do this for when the AZR turns 10, I want to be able to bring a voice actor to a convention courtesy of Anime-Zing Radio. If you want to help us make that dream a reality, help us out by donating a little bit every month at patreon.com/Anime-Zing Radio. Also follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Anime-Zing Radio. We keep updating our schedule as things go. We've been posting more content there. Also, you get an idea of when shows go live. Reach out to us. Let us know what you want to see on the show, what guests you'd like us to have. If you'd like us to cover certain topics of anime, some of the games that we have played. If you have ideas of future games that you'd like to see us do, more Smash or Trash, which I have to say, we've done that twice. I think Jason would be fun to bring on because I think he would fall for a trap.
Rock that, but you might have to make that one you might need a bleep button for me because I'd be like, I would totally have fun with that one.
Well, the thing is, those usually are uncensored shows because we brought our friend Julia Coelho on, and anytime she's on with us, she is more of a wild card with comments than you are.
Nice. That would be a fun show.
See, the last time we did that, I tastefully went off the rails.
Yeah.
I'd be down. Whenever. I'm a media whore, so whenever.
So I actually think that could be a lot of fun. You guys in the chat, if you think that Jay would be a good fit for one of our Smash or Trash specials,
I'd definitely be great at the smashing.
Dr. Say, let's just see how many we can get you with, because we've gotten a couple people.
Every
I'll
time
tell you
we've
one
done it,
thing.
we've got
If it's
somebody
going to
with
be
a trap.
uncensored, you see a totally different side of me that you probably may regret later.
Lord.
I can be pretty effing, I don't know, crazy.
Well,
I don't think.
I'm spending sports bra here in like a censored show. I mean, just think of uncensored. If it's uncensored, I will show up naked and be like, all right, I'm here, fuckers. I mean, effers. Sorry. Right at the end, I screw up. There you go.
But I mean, I don't know if he could be any more off the rails than Julia was when Koro Sensei from Assassination Classroom came up, because he has tentacles.
Oh, see, I'll rival that stuff.
And when my
I
wife
only
puts
said
together the
F
list,
like twice in the show. Angela beat me. Ha!
and I will say that when my wife sets up these lists, she doesn't tell me who's on there.
Sweet.
She might tell me that there's a trap or two, but she won't tell me who the trap is.
If we did one of these, our brackets like we're going to do in March, and I had Tasha do it, she'd probably put like people I know on there. And I'd be brutally honest.
Watch her put me on there.
I mean, like, I would totally do Doug in a second. That's what I would do. Like, he'd be on the keep list. At least I'll be a big spoon for that one.
Like, no. No.
That's all right. I'll cut all of you. It's fine. Totally good.
Yeah, see. Yeah.
I've totally killed your show. I'm sorry, Doug.
Oh, good.
No, this is good.
If our ratings die, it's your fault. Actually, you probably brought in ratings.
I think this is just where I go. I'll kick all your asses and leave it at that.
Oh, I see. I would look forward to that. That'd be awesome. I could use a good butt kicking.
So can I. So
I have to say, I've never had one.
They're fun. Groovy.
But we've got to call it a night here. We are a little bit past our 2-hour mark. Once again, big thank you to Jay for joining us tonight. It has been a lot of fun catching up and just talking nonsense and a lot of BS.
Oh, that's always, man. And thank you, guys. Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Doug. Thank you, HH. And I'm sorry, I don't remember the other dude's name.
Timothy.
All the people who commented, thank you all very much. It's honestly a step into a 7-year time warp today. I'm actually going to tell our listeners on Wednesday that we've been like cryogenically frozen for 7 years and just woke up and didn't know what the hell happened. But we're going to continue just like we just left off. So it's going to be a fun time. It's going to be interesting. And if you want to hear just some audio debauchery, please join us.
Go ahead, Darren.
And I was about to say, on that note, cryogenically frozen, World's End Harem, that's exactly what happens. And you got 5 surviving guys. 99% of the male population is gone.
Oh, good. There's plenty of girls.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
That's why it's called World's End Harem. And their basic job is to repopulate the earth.
Oh, my God. I don't know if I'd want any more of me hanging around. Yeah, hell yeah, I do. I'd be like, dude, what's up? Oh, man, it'd be awesome. It'd be so fun.
On that note, go ahead, Ange.
No, that's when I
think
would
it's
murder
past my
everyone.
bedtime.
Have a wonderful night, everybody. Until tomorrow night, when we have a special Monday night show, we're going to be welcoming Sean Hainsworth to the show. He's got a new comic coming out. We're going to be promoting that, helping him with his Kickstarter. It's going to be a lot of fun. So definitely stay tuned for that. Next Sunday, we currently don't have a guest. That may fill up quick, or we may just have an open topic night where who knows what we'll talk about.
No, it'll be 2 hours of me snoring.
Or 2 hours of Darrow doing his best Nico
We've
impersonation.
done that. We did the 2 hours of nonsense.
I said 2 hours of snoring.
Yeah. That was last week.
But until then, definitely keep watching anime. Have a safe week out there, especially if you're in any of the cold weather areas. We don't know what storms are coming through. I know up this way, we're actually going to get a heat wave. It's supposed to be in the 30s the next couple of days. So
it's supposed to be in the 40s and rainy here. Actually, I take that back. High 30, low 40s here.
By the
you're a lot
time
more north than I am. I'm like high of
by the end
50,
of the week,
60, 70.
will be 50s.
nice. So have a wonderful night, everybody. Stay safe, and we will see you right here tomorrow night from starting at 8 o'clock. Probably be an hour special with Sean. So stay tuned for that. Until then, have a wonderful night. We'll see you next time.
Bye.